filthy swines! Get in here! Sit down and behave yourselves. We're going to read some news and you're going to possibly like it. I don't know, maybe. It's not up to me to decide whether you like things or not. Anyway, I'm interested in the idea of quantum computing and the effects of quantum physics on technology, on the modern world. And I think there's some profound technologies that are on the cusp. I know there are some examples of quantum computers that are very expensive and strange, but as seems to always be the case, what is strange and rare and expensive becomes cheap and ubiquitous if there is a demand. And there's certainly a demand for AI, and quantum computing may well be a cornerstone of some very profound things to come. So this article on Science News, written by Emily Conover, quantum echoes reveal the potential of Google's quantum computer. The calculation is apparently out of reach for classical computers, and its result can be verified. Look what he's found here. He's found a chip. He's presenting it to us. He's saying, this is yours now. For quantum computers to change the game of computation, scientists need to show that the machine's calculations are correct. Now there's hope. Google's Willow quantum chip has achieved a verifiable quantum advantage, a team of researchers claimed. That's a quantum calculation that's apparently out of reach for a traditional classical computer, but with a result that can be confirmed to be correct. The result of the calculation, reported in October 22nd in Nature, could be verified by another quantum computer, although it hasn't been yet. Verification is an essential step towards potential applications of quantum computers. Well, yeah, you don't want them to just pump out gobbledygook. If I can't prove to you that the data is correct, how can I do anything with it? Physicist Tom O'Brien of Google Quantum AI in Santa Barbara, California, said in an October 17 news conference. The calculation measuring a phenomenon nicknamed quantum echoes runs 13,000 times as fast on Willow as it would on the Frontier supercomputer, one of the most powerful in the world. The full set of calculations would demand about 150 years of Frontier's time, making it infeasible to compute classically. It took just days of computing time on Willow. It's pretty convincing that to simulate this with a classical computer, you would need some combination of huge computing effort and some algorithmic advances that people haven't come up with yet. But it's not crazy to imagine that they would, says quantum physicist Aaron Harrow of MIT. Was not involved with the research. Previous claims of quantum advantage have frequently been followed up by improved classical computation that erase that advantage. Oh dear. Some other quantum advantages claim to have a level of verification, but that verification was inefficient, says computer scientist Scott Aronson of the University of Texas at Austin, who was not involved with the research. Another one. For example, as a calculation increases in size, the time it takes to verify it grows exponentially. Google's new calculation would be efficient to verify given another quantum computer of similar capabilities. Efficiently verifiable quantum advantage has been one of the biggest challenges facing the field in recent years, Aronson says. This is a decent candidate. Even better, Harrow says, would be an algorithm that could be verified by a classical computer rather than another quantum computer. For example, one of the most famous applications of quantum computers, Shor's algorithm, is easy to check. It splits an extremely large integer into two prime factors. For large numbers, this task would take an impractically long amount of time on a classical computer. The difficulty in calculating those prime numbers is the foundation of the encryption that keeps internet data secure. But a powerful enough quantum computer running Shor's algorithm could deduce these primes. Once it did, a classical computer could simply multiply them together to check that it matches original number. Quantum echoes aren't that simple. Known scientifically as out-of-time order correlations, quantum echoes are a signature of chaos in the system. It's kind of a butterfly effect where you poke something in one place, and then very far away at a later time there's a disturbance, Harrow says. Calculating quantum echoes involves performing a variety of random operations on the computer's quantum bits, or qubits. Those operations are then reversed, effectively running time backward to the beginning. This is what allows the researchers to get a verifiable signal out of the chaotic system which would otherwise wash out information. I've got a video. The quantum butterfly effect. The butterfly effect, like quantum echoes measured on Google's Willow chip illustrated, result from a series of operations on qubits. First, random operations are applied on the qubits, yellow. Then one butterfly qubit is perturbed, Oh dear. Did you bully a quibbit? The operations are reversed, and the result is read out light purple. The new works quantum advantage calculation uses 65 qubits out of the 105 qubit array pictured. All right, let's watch this. So I don't think there's sound. So what are we looking at here? Flashy, flashy yellow. Flashy yellow. Flashy yellow. And then what? Perturb me, a quibbit. Oh no, it's perturbed. He's so upset. Oh no. Hang in there, perturbed quibbit. Then what? Oh no, a bunch of flashy yellows have gone. No. Flashy, flashy. And then what? Now what's going to happen? Am I fascinated enough yet? I don't think I am. What's going to happen? Oh no, it's an invasion of purple. None of this made sense. Moving on. I like to try and understand things that I don't understand. And this is one of the things that I don't particularly understand, but I'd like to understand more about it because it's clearly got a lot of potential. The researchers used 65 of Willow's qubits for the quantum echo calculation, running the operation forward and in reverse twice. Before each time reversal, a few of the qubits were tweaked. The technique produces a complex quantum interference effect that is difficult to compute classically. The researchers argue that their algorithm is a step toward practical uses of quantum computers. In a not yet peer-reviewed paper to post on that website on October the 22nd, Google researchers and collaborators used the technique to compute how certain proportions of two molecules are arranged relative to one another in a 3D space. The demonstrations agreed with results from a typical lab technique, nuclear magnetic resonance. However, they don't yet outpace classical calculations. So what I'm getting from this is they've got these fancy quantum computers, but they can't quite verify the result because the verifying result with a classical computer would take too long. It would take like 150 years or so for one of these tests. So that's the problem. They're either sitting on something that is spectacular and working really well, or it's pumping out garbage. And they can't quite tell yet. The problem is verifying the information, which is interesting. And I imagine AI will play a pretty pivotal role in devising ways to verify whether the information is in fact correct. But could they not have much more simple tests that run on these quantum systems that are possible for classical systems to digest, and then just use that as a baseline to say these systems work at this level and we are extrapolating from this extra amount of complexity that we trust the results because these other results were good? What do I know? I know nothing, but it's interesting. It's interesting because the potential for code breaking and a redefinition of what we mean by privacy as a result of these technologies is just around the corner, I imagine. But who knows? I don't know. I mean, how would these systems then be used to create even more complex encoding that would maintain privacy? You're just kicking the ball down the road, really, aren't you? If classical systems can be cracked because these quantum systems are so much more capable of pondering all permutations, you just use a quantum system to create an even more complex encryption system, would you not? I guess. I don't know. But we shall see. But I think we're going to leave it at that for now. Make sure you like the stream if you like the stream. If you don't, that's fine. You don't have to like it, but please don't not like it. But that is it for now. I have nothing else to say except Pigwig out.
Oink, oinkity, snort, schnuffle, schnuffle, squee, oink, oink, ree, squeal, snort, snort, oinkity, squee. Oink, 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 squee, squee, ree, 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 shuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 ree, 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 oh. Snort, snuffle, oink, squee, squeal, ree, snort, oinky, oinkity, oink, oink, snuffle, ree, squee, snort, oink, squeal. Oink, 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 squee, squee, ree, 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 shuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 ree, 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 oh. Oink, oinkity, snort, snuffle, snuffle, squee, oinkity, oink, oink, snuffle, ree, squee, snort, oink, squeal. Oink, 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 squee, squee, ree, 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 shuffle, snort, squeal, squeal, oinky, oink, snort, snort, squee, oink, 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 ree, 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 oh. Squeal, squeal. Snort, shuffle, oink, Re squeal, re snort. Oinky, oinkity, oink, oink, oink. Schnuffle, re squeeze, snort, oink, squeal. Oink, oink, oinkity, squeeze, squeal, re, re, re. Snuffle, snort, squeal, squeal. Oinky, oink, snort, snort, squeal. Oink, oink, oink.